Welcome to this complete beginner guide to Trix, also known as Trex. In this video, you will learn what Trix is, how the table is set up, how the 5 contracts work, how scoring is calculated, what doubling means, and which beginner mistakes to avoid. By the end, you should be ready to sit at a table, follow the flow of a full game, and understand why each contract requires a different strategy. The easiest way to understand Trix is to think of it as a group of 5 mini-games inside one larger card game. 4 of those mini-games are trick-taking penalty contracts. In those contracts, you usually want to avoid taking certain cards or tricks. The 5th contract, called Trex, is different. It is a card-shedding game where players race to empty their hands by building card sequences on the table. Trix is played by exactly 4 players using a standard 52-card deck with no jokers. Every player receives 13 cards, and the full game is played over 20 deals. Trix is normally played by 4 individual players. Players sit around the table, and the game moves counterclockwise, which means play passes to the right. The cards are also dealt counterclockwise, 1 card at a time, until every player has 13 cards. In the first deal, the player who receives the 7 of hearts becomes the first kingdom owner. That player controls the first kingdom, which means they deal and choose the contracts for the first 5 deals. A full game of Trix is organized into 4 kingdoms. Each player owns 1 kingdom. During your kingdom, you must play all 5 contracts exactly once. After you finish your 5 contracts, the kingdom passes to the player on your right. Because there are 4 players, and each player chooses 5 contracts, the full game contains 20 deals. After all 20 deals are finished, everyone adds their scores, and the player with the highest total wins. Cards rank from ace, high down to 2 low. So the ace is the strongest card in a suit, followed by king, queen, jack, 10, 9, and so on down to 2. In the first 4 contracts, the basic trick-taking rule is simple. 1 player leads a card. Every other player must follow the same suit if they can. If they do not have that suit, they may play any card. The highest card of the suit that was led wins the trick, and the winner leads the next trick. Trix has 5 contracts. The first is King of Hearts, also called Shekuba, where the player who takes the King of Hearts loses 75 points. The second is Diamonds, or Denari, where every diamond taken is worth negative 10 points. The third is Queens, or Banat, where every queen taken is worth negative 25 points. The fourth is Collection, or Eltouche, where every trick you take costs negative 15 points. The fifth is Trex, the card-shedding contract, where players score positive points based on who empties their hand first. In the King of Hearts contract, the main danger is exactly 1 card, the King of Hearts. Whoever takes the trick containing the King of Hearts scores negative 75 points. There is also an important restriction. A player may not lead hearts unless they have no cards in any other suit. This prevents someone from immediately forcing hearts onto the table. As a beginner, your goal is to avoid winning the trick that contains the King of Hearts. If you hold the king, try to get rid of it safely when another player is likely to win the trick. In the Diamonds contract, every diamond you take in your tricks costs negative 10 points. There are 13 diamonds in the deck, so the total penalty available in this deal is negative 130 points. Unlike King of Hearts, there is no special lead restriction. You can lead any suit. The key is tracking diamonds as they appear and trying not to win tricks that contain them. If a trick has several diamonds in it, that trick can become very expensive. In the Queen's contract, each queen taken in a trick costs negative 25 points. Since there are 4 queens, the total penalty in the deal is negative 100 points. The dangerous moment happens when a queen is played into a trick that you might win. You should watch which suits have already been played and avoid getting trapped with a high card. Queens can also be doubled, which makes them even more important to track. In the collection contract, there is no specific penalty card. Instead, every trick you take costs negative 15 points. Since there are 13 tricks in a deal, the total penalty across the table is negative 195 points. This contract changes the way you think. Normally, taking tricks can feel good, but here you want to avoid winning tricks whenever possible. High cards become dangerous, and low cards become useful because they help you lose tricks safely. The Trex contract is completely different from the first 4. It is not a trick-taking contract. Instead, players build a central layout on the table. The layout starts with jacks. You may play any jack that has not been played yet, or you may play a card that is directly next to an existing card of the same suit. For example, if the Jack of Clubs is on the table, Then the 10 of clubs can be played below it, or the queen of clubs can be played above it. Then the 9 can follow the 10, and the king can follow the queen. The sequence grows downward to the 2 and upward to the ace. Let's walk through a simple Trix sequence. Player A plays the jack of clubs, player B plays the 10 of clubs, player C has no jack and no card next to the layout, so player C must pass. Player D plays the queen of clubs. Later, the 9 of clubs can be played below the 10, and the king of clubs can be played above the queen. In Trix, you are trying to empty your hand first. If you cannot legally play, you pass. Planning is important because opening the wrong suit can help another player, while holding a blocking card for too long can trap you later. Scoring is the heart of Trix. In King of Hearts, taking the King of Hearts gives negative 75 points. In Diamonds, each diamond is negative 10. In Queens, each queen is negative 25. In Collection, each trick is negative 15. Trix is the positive contract. The first player to empty their hand scores 200 points. Second place scores 150. Third place scores 100. Fourth place scores 50. When all contracts are combined, the scoring system balances around 0, which is why avoiding penalties is just as important as scoring positive points. Doubling is used with King of Hearts and Queens. Before the first trick, a player who holds one of these penalty cards may expose it and double it. This increases the penalty for the player who takes it, and it gives a reward to the player who doubled it. For example, if you double the Queen of Spades and another player takes it, that player scores negative 50 while you score positive 25. Doubling can be powerful, but it is risky. Only double when you are confident you can avoid taking your own penalty card. During your kingdom, choosing the right contract is one of the most important decisions. Look at your hand before choosing. If you have many hearts, King of Hearts may be dangerous. If you have many diamonds, diamonds may be dangerous. If you have several queens, queens may be risky. If your hand has many high cards, collection can be difficult because high cards often win tricks. For Trix, look for jacks and cards close to jacks. A hand with useful sequences such as Jack, Queen, King, or Jack 10-9 can be strong because it gives you more legal plays. Beginners often make the same few mistakes. The first is choosing a contract without studying the hand. The second is forgetting to follow suit. The third is leading hearts illegally in King of Hearts. The fourth is failing to track penalty cards, especially queens and diamonds. The fifth is using doubling without a clear plan. In Trix, beginners often hold important cards too long, or they open suits that help opponents more than themselves. The best habit is to slow down, check the contract, identify the dangerous cards, and think about what the next player might be able to do. Let's recap. Trix is a 4-player card game played with a standard deck. The full game has 4 kingdoms and 20 deals. Each kingdom includes 5 contracts: King of Hearts, Diamonds, Queens, Collection, and Trix. In the first 4 contracts, you follow trick-taking rules and usually try to avoid penalties. In Trix, you build sequences from the jacks and try to empty your hand first. Good Trix players choose contracts carefully, track penalty cards, understand when to pass or play, and use doubling only when the risk makes sense. The best way to learn Trix is to practice one contract at a time. Start with the trick-taking contracts, then play a few rounds of Trix until the layout feels natural. Once you understand the 5 contracts separately, a full 20-deal game becomes much easier to follow. Thanks for watching, and I hope this guide helps you enjoy your first games of Trix.